Welcome to another edition of the Roland GRIMES, not just sports and entertainment show. Hey folks, we have a dynamite show for you today. We have a little bit of legendary history on board with us. Once again, I want to reintroduce my esteemed co-host, Mr. Self-Empowerment, ladies and gentlemen, Wilbur Skipper. However, this fine-looking gentleman to our far right, he is a member of a group affectionately known as the Softones. He goes by the name of Elton Lynch. We're going to introduce you to him right now. He's going to tell you a little bit about his storied history and a little bit about where he's going. Elton, man, welcome aboard.
Oh, thank you so much, brother.
Nice to have you. We're going to do the pound. Everybody's going to get on this.
Absolutely.
Elton, look, I'm going to open up and I'm going to ask you a very generic question.
Okay.
Who are you and where do you come from?
My name is Elton Lynch. I come from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm an Emerson Village boy.
Are you really from Baltimore, Maryland?
Yes, I am, sir.
Now we're taping in Baltimore, Maryland right now.
Yes, sir.
You guys just had a show. I see you still got a little bit of sweat on the brow.
Had a rough one. Working hard. Yes, sir. It was hard.
You guys are working hard. So tell me, what was it like growing up in Baltimore, and how did you discover yourself being a part of this group known as the Salt?
As far as that, I started out really young. Me, Marvin. I think we might, I was about 10, 11 years old. We used to sing a cappella. I mean, and we sang, you know, Marvin's uncles taught us well. All we sang was a cappella, and we did the old school stuff. I mean, stuff that you wouldn't think 12 or 11-year-old kids would be singing. Well, you know, we were doing it.
She was way behind, way ahead of your time.
Pretty much.
Now, I tried that when I was 11 and 12, but it didn't quite pan out as well. At what point did you discover that this 11, 12-year-old groove was going to turn into something?
Believe it or not, honestly, I grew up basically me and Marvin. I mean, I was raised with his family pretty much, and his uncles sang. All of them were musical, especially his uncle Arthur. He played keyboards, and that brother, when we sit down around the piano, and just started going, and kept going. Then all of a sudden, we turned into the Barber's Own Temptation. We started singing all that stuff, you know. But the thing I loved about us, we rehearsed every day.
Right.
Every day. We made sure that thing was right before we hit that stage at a young age. At a young age.
And you're still doing it and moving forward still.
Yeah, well, one of the things I noticed tonight, I mean, you guys performed like you had just got off the stage yesterday and you were ready to do it again. I mean, for me, it took me back. You did some of the older songs.
Right.
You brought us up to date. I mean, it was a fabulous show. I enjoyed it myself.
Thank you so much.
What can you say to our audience that you would say attribute to the Softones having been in operation for a while, coming back and looking like you've never missed a beat?
What would I say to them as far as...
How did you pull that off? How did you disappear for so long, come back so strong?
I'm going to say this. Between the three of us, I don't know what it is, but between me, Marvin, and Steve, when we get on that stage, we know each other. And it's like magic.
Right.
I would say it's just like magic. And once I hit that stage, once we get there, I'm nervous before I go on, but once my feet hit that stage, it's showtime.
We call it zoned out. You probably can relate to that.
So it's like riding a bike, you get back on it and it's on.
Pretty much.
Now, Softones, what are we looking for moving forward from this group of gentlemen that we just saw perform on stage?
Well, first of all, I'll put it to you this way. It can't do nothing but get better from this point out, because we're gonna make sure it is. And all I can say is just wait for the next one, and you will see.
Man, I love the band. How did you put that group behind you?
Well, these guys,
musicians.
All things Brown put these guys together. But one guy that's been with us for a minute. Matter of fact, me and this guy went to school, Arthur Scribner, Emerson Village boy, and he was every time we meet somebody, you know, he will come in and do it for us. And the other guys are basically pretty much just men. But Brown put the boys together, and they pulled it off. That's all I can say. They pulled it off.
Well, one of the things that I want to just commend you guys for is just your stage presence. I mean, your stage presence was impeccable.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I like the Delphonics, you know, I like the Unifics,
right.
You know, some older groups, and I just don't get a chance to see that much. So I found myself in a zone watching you guys. It was fabulous. You guys,
that's a heck of a compliment.
You guys put on a great show.
That's a heck of a compliment.
Great show.
And I appreciate it, my brother.
Now, you guys recording, will you be releasing new material moving forward, or you're kind of going to re-rock the?
No, we're talking about that, but how soon, I don't know. Yeah, so that's a couple more steps down the road.
Okay, can some of our good folks find you in some other cities in the days to come, or you pretty much going to stay in Baltimore?
Oh, no,
and keep selling out like
no,
you did
we're
tonight?
we're not going to stay. No, we're not going to stay in Baltimore per se, because we don't flood the market. Because if you do that, you know what that is.
Oh, absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
I don't have to go there with you.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
And one of the things I like to say to you is that the Rolling GRIMES is not just sports and entertainment show. We want to follow you guys.
Okay.
We want to be right there with you. We know you're going to go on and do some big and wonderful things. We want to be right there with you, seeing you do this. We're right there with you.
I appreciate this. I'll be glad to have it.
Hey folks, just briefly meeting with Mr. Elton Lynch. We have a few more of the Softones coming at you very shortly. Sit tight. Roland Grimes, Wilbur Skipper, Elton Lynch, Roland Grimes, Not Just Sports and Entertainment Show. Right back at you. Hey man, appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
Not Just Sports and Entertainment Show, as I promised you. And as my main man, Mr. Self-Apartment told you, we have another member of the Softones, a gentleman who is affectionately known as Mr. Jackson. I'm going to start by asking him a little bit about himself, and then we're going to move forward. Mr. Jackson, your first name is?
Well, my first name, you don't have to call me this.
We were raised right, you can tell.
Let's keep it that Steve.
They made us all call Mrs. Jackson.
Everybody calls me Steve. So Mr. Jackson is my father. But I'm doing pretty good, man.
Doing good.
And I've got
Quick question for you. You just finished performing.
Yeah.
Now, when you're done, how long does it take for you to get back into your normal rhythm? Is it a letdown? Is it a pick-me-up? What do you have to do?
I can say it's going to take about 2 days to come down.
Right.
This.
Yeah.
It really does. I mean, because it's an adrenaline that it starts not just today. It starts the day before the show, and it's like, okay. We actually have to do things like get massages and things like that to get ourselves relaxed in order for us to prepare ourselves for today, like what we did for today. You know, I went to the mall yesterday, and me and my wife went to the mall yesterday, and we had to do some walking around, so do some shopping, spend some money that I never had, you know, and those kind of things. But those are the type of things that normal people do. We do what normal people do, but we have to keep our mind occupied so that we won't be just totally
oversight stuff, right?
too excited, because we get excited. You know?
Right. And believe me, Roland and I, we can relate to that because Roland played collegiate football, a little short of the NFL. I played collegiate basketball, a little short of the NBA. We know what that's like, believe me, having to do that.
It takes a couple of days to actually come down off that mountain. And not to be, it's not a conceited thing, it's just that adrenaline stays with you. And just like what we'll do, give you an example. Tomorrow, which will be Sunday, go to church, because we try not to miss that.
Sure, absolutely. That's very important.
Gotta keep church in there.
Very important.
And you know, gotta listen to the word. Word brings you down to earth. Word brings you down to earth. Keeps your mind, keeps you focused, keeps you on the right path. That's one thing. That's the number one thing. You try to keep in mind. Church. Church important.
So after you go to sleep like 4 o'clock in the morning, you still gonna get back up.
Sure, you got to do it.
Super.
You got to do it. I mean, because if it hadn't been, you know, wouldn't be
here.
Right, exactly.
But in the event after that, we'll go home. Still had to get on the phone. I had to call the brothers and find out how you doing, man, how you feeling. So I'm saying, man, well, it's like a little bit. I still haven't came down yet. You know, when we start communicating with each other, we bring each other down. We keep ourselves intact. You know, we have to do that. You have to do it. And it's a wonderful thing to be in this business and to be able to communicate with the brothers,
Sure.
and one another, and keeping each other in line and focused. Because we talk about not just ourselves, we talk about the audience.
Absolutely.
The audience is the most important thing because that's what we do. We entertain the audience, and we love the audience, and we can see what they appreciate, and what we see, what they appreciate, we appreciate.
Well, one of the things that I would like to say, and I noticed this from the time you guys came in, before you guys got ready for the show, we had some dialogue off camera before you actually started the show. And I love two things. I love first the chemistry that you guys show collectively as a team, number one, and that includes the band members as well, your management team, everybody as a group.
Yeah.
And the second thing that really just struck me is your humbleness as a team. What would you say for the group collectively that you can attribute that to? I mean, where does that come from? For all these young folks that are looking for longevity in terms of music, and you guys have been away for a while, and now you've come back, what would you attribute that to?
Okay, well, Softones, I'm gonna kind of sort of like give out our ages a little bit. You know, we've been together for 42 years, you know, and I have a saying within myself, you know, you're never too old to learn. That's number one. When we were coming up, individually, we all had our different, you know, idols or groups that we like. With Marvin, he was an idol of Temptation. Elton, he was a Four Tops fan. I was a Fifth Dimension fan.
Okay.
I love the Fifth Dimension.
Do remember the Fifth Dimension?
And you know, and just by studying them so much, not just as artists, but studying them as people, you have to do that. You have to study individuals and to see what they're really like. And when you find out what they're really like, you say, wow, these people are really down to earth. I want to be like that. I want to be like that too. We come from a family that, you know, back in the day where we all sit down at the dinner table and we all eat together, which, you know, we try to keep that going. And it's the culture. It's just so much that you can contribute, and so much that you can just explain. It's all good. And what we talked about earlier, it's about what God has done for us. We have to be responsible for ourselves. That's number one. We have to be responsible for ourselves. If we're not responsible for ourselves, things are not going to happen. God wants us to be responsible for ourselves. So that's something that we practice constantly as we get older, you know. And this is something that we try to send a message to the young people out here today.
Well, in reference to that, you mentioned your wife earlier. Real quickly, who are some of the other people that are behind the scenes that help make Steve Jackson, help make the Softones who they are today?
My
and who will
family,
be tomorrow?
My family, my wife, she's a great supporter of me. And I've been married for 20-something years, 20-some-odd years. And, you know, before I even got married, you know, the thing about it is that a lot of people say, well, you're an entertainer, you know, you guys get a lot of girls or things like that, which we know a lot of girls. Right. You know, that's what it is. This is what we love doing.
It's the nature of the business.
This is why the way we started off, we like, you know, love the girls. But we sat down and I'd sit down and talk to my wife, we have a conversation, trying to keep the culture there, trying to keep the culture there. And I explained to her, I said, well, you know, there's a lot of women on this. She said, honey, don't worry about it. This is something you've been doing for a long time. I'm not going to worry about it. There's nothing but love and understanding between the both of us. That's
Well, we have to clone her. We have to clone her. Make her about 4 or 5 more for those artists.
and she keeps me going.
All right, now in terms of your management and some of the other people
Beth, Elizabeth Jackson Hodges, she's a wonderful person. She keeps us going. She has a lot of connections out there in the business. She loves us. We know that she loves us. We love her too. And she has a lot of connections out there, a lot of resources out there. And she is one person that if you ever need to talk to her anything about the Softones, Elizabeth Hodges Jackson. That's who you need to talk to.
Now, the work.
She is our resource.
Well, we're going to see a little bit later if we can get Miss Hodges, Miss Jackson Hodges.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Hey,
We
folks.
need to talk to her. Yes.
Part 2 of the trio, Steve Jackson. We're going to continue on in a few minutes, talk to the third portion of the Softones, and we'll be back very shortly. The Roland Grimes, Not Just Sports Entertainment Show. Steve, man, God bless. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Look
much.
forward to
Thank you
watching
for having
great
me.
things,
Yes.
man.
Thank you, Marvin.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Roland Grimes, Not Just Sports and Entertainment Show. As we promised, the third part of the Softones. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet Mr. Marvin Brown. Marvin, how are you this evening?
I'm doing very well.
Look, man, I tell you, I do not understand how you have this effervescent, ebullient personality at the end of doing an hour and a half on the set, 97 degrees out there, man. How is it that at the end of this, man, you can still look so refreshed? What is your secret, and can I buy it from you?
I meditate every day. I don't do any drugs or smoke or anything like that. And I honestly and truthfully am so grateful to be able to just
Is that right?
do it. I just, I feel really blessed about it, and I never take it for granted. And I hope I never do. So it just, I'm grateful to be doing this.
Now, before Skip goes, I hear you talking now. You have a little bit of baritone in your voice.
Yeah.
But when you get on that stage, you hit like those Gary Mudbone high. Explain it to us.
It comes from back in the day, Smokey Robinson, Eddie Kendricks, even the Drifters and some of the other groups, the Dells, and the tenors were falsettos. And when I was young, I really admired a lot of those tenors, so I practiced it. And I remember saying I wanted it to sound natural when I sang. So even though I speak this way, I can sing like that. A lot of it is just practice and wanting to really do it. I really love the tones and, just all that kind of stuff. So I sing high.
Yeah.
Where I'm bad is I can't sing high. It's terrible.
Well, now Marvin, for me, I often, and Roland knows this to be a fact, I often use the word zoned out.
Okay.
So as I say to you the word zoned out, as it relates to you and your group on the stage, or you in particular, what does that mean to you in reference to your singing on the stage? When you walk on that stage, where do you transform from before you get there, and then when you get there, where do you go?
Well, one of the things that I do is I try to get really quiet before a show, because I actually try to, in my mind's eye, see myself going out there with the group, how we're going to walk out, all the way down to what we're going to dress and what will that look like and all of that. And then zoning out almost from the time I get to a venue. But once we get on the stage, it's like a different world. It's a world. I guess for me, it's almost a flawless world, because it's art in motion. It's doing what it's supposed to do, and I just I play a little golf, and it's just like when you play golf, once you start playing it, you really don't think about anything else but what you're doing. Because if you don't do that, then you're gonna mess up your shots.
You're not gonna do well.
And it's the same thing up there. When I do zone out, I kind of in my mind go to this beauty land sort of, you know, and I always have like I was singing to a woman who hopefully, you know, the stuff is sort of penetrating her, if you will, and having an impact and sincere and real, you know what I mean? And so that's zoning out for me. I go to it, it's like a whole nother world. I remember years ago being disappointed when we weren't doing it because I was, what am I supposed to do with myself? I gotta get back to that world.
So that time off, real quick, so that time off when you weren't doing it, what were you doing?
Waiting to do it again. I listen to a ton of different kinds of music, and I don't know if you noticed in the show, we put like, we're doing our Softones stuff, but we do Raheem, Javon, and Michelle is in there. We put Jill Scott stuff, little pieces of song. Because I like a whole lot of different stuff. And the Softones have always tried to be unique in doing that kind of stuff, like just throw a curve, you know, do something different. So when I'm not singing, a lot of times I'm listening to music, and I could be, I don't know, writing songs or doing something else, and I'll say, you know what, when we do this show this time, we should put so and so and so and so in, and just sing this much of it, put it right at the end of a song, right in the middle of a song we're doing, and I just, you know, it impacts me. I'm hoping that people will, you know, get that. So when I'm not doing it, that's part of what I do. And then, you know, I mean, I've done a lot of other stuff. I work as a psychologist too, and been a director for drug treatment programs for 25 years in addition to this. Before those days, I would almost go crazy when we weren't doing it, but now, you know, I just kind of keep myself busy and look forward to being able to do this. It's just so awesome, man. It's like, whoa. That's great.
Well, you know, one of the things that I go through in my preparation, and Roland and I sometimes we say it's game time.
Yeah.
It's time to show up and show out.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I heard you guys say on the stage, this our photographer, myself, Roland, we were in the audience, we were watching you guys perform.
Okay.
You guys did a great job.
Thank you.
But one of the things you guys said was, one of you all went back to the 7th grade, and you talked about how you started singing in the 7th grade. Singing from the 7th grade to now?
Yeah.
What would you attribute that to?
You have to understand, we first started singing in the 7th grade because we started liking girls. And we found that girls were easier to kind of understand and talk to. And so that was part of it. And I think with all of us growing up and kind of middle class or a little below that, we didn't have a lot of money in our families, but I don't know, it kept us out of trouble. We were popular as a result of doing it. Everybody likes being popular, I think, you know, especially when you're young like that. And we just sort of did the thing and started it. And we actually almost became a marching troupe. And I don't know if the other guys tell you this, but we would always go sing in Little Alley, and the girls would come out and all that. And one day we're at home, and a marching troupe is coming down the main street of Baltimore called Evanston Avenue. There's a marching troupe, rifle brigade, white rifles, and all these khaki outfits, man, and they were spinning stuff, and the girls were going crazy.
You said, that's it.
You know what I did? I said, you know, man, we got to figure out we're going to be a marching troupe. And it was like, it really was.
That close.
This close.
Gotta be like,
So I think that we found our niche. And
because you done marched right out of the business. You marched right out of the business, man. We be talking you have a white boots and a trunk.
spinning around.
Like, why you got these guys on TV?
That's sort of our history. We started doing talent shows. We were really blessed with being able to, I don't know, sing. I mean, coming from backgrounds with family members that sang and all that kind of stuff. And it really ended up being the thing we could do pretty good. You know, out of all good, weren't real good sports people, you know. We had a lot of mouth, but weren't like really good fighters. you know, it kept people off you. People knew you liked you, and then we just really enjoyed doing it.
So you called out your niche doing that. Well, look, real quick, man, where can our audience find you? Do you have a website, contact number, information? Folks can look for some of your stuff.
They can find us. We have, good gracious, there's so much stuff on YouTube, which is a good lesson. There's different people who book the group, and a lot of times on the web, you can simply type in the Softones. Our management company comes up and everything. We're currently building a new site because we had a period of time that we weren't singing together. And I was doing some stuff with Delphonics and that kind of thing. So we're rebuilding it, and we really are, our motto, if you will, logo is going to be the legacy. Legacy continues. But you'll be able to do the Softones.com very soon.
Now, spelling of the Softones,
Softones.
Just like that. Hey, folks, once again, we want to thank you for joining us for this portion of the Roland Grimes, Not Just Sports and Entertainment Show. We have a few other special guests that's going to surprise you in a minute. But once again, I want to thank you, Brother Brown, for being a part of us, man.
Thank you
I hope you don't mind if we follow you around a little bit.
Absolutely not.
Please don't mind.
We're going to shake your hand, and I'm going to wish you the best,
Thank you so
man.
much.
I hope you enjoyed being on our set.
All right, Marvin.
I definitely enjoyed you.
Absolutely. You guys had a great show.
Hey, folks, be back.
Watching you, touching you, seeing you.